One of the most difficult things to do in reselling is to figure out your niche. It's very difficult to understand, do you want to sell toys, used clothing, electronics? There's a lot of variables to consider when trying to start your resale business. Do you want to sell everything? Do you want to sell a specific item? I have a 3-step process that we're going to go through in this video where I'm going to show you how to exactly figure out what your niche should be. Yes, my tree is up in January. Step number 1, you're actually going to go on Google. You're going to go on Google Maps. On your phone, on your desktop, it really doesn't matter. And you're going to type in thrift stores. And you want to look within a certain mile radius from your house, be it 25 miles, 50 miles, whatever you're comfortable with. That's going to give you a list of all the local thrift stores in your area. Now, this is important because this is really where you're going to be drawing any of the products that you or inventory that you look to be selling on online platforms. This is going to give you an exact understanding of what types of items that you can actually buy to resell. If you go to these thrift stores and you find out that they're abundant in electronics, well, guess what? You're going to sell electronics. If you go to these thrift stores and you see that there are tons of women's clothing, guess what? You have a really good opportunity to sell women's clothing and toys and etc., etc. So you're going to want to have that list of all the thrift stores within however far you're comfortable traveling, and that's going to tell you the inventory that you can pull from. Step number 2, you're going to actually go to these thrift stores. I kind of alluded to this in step number 1, but you're going to actually go to these thrift stores. And the reason that you're going to go to these thrift stores is you have to understand what the prices are for the items at these thrift stores. Now, if you have electronics, but they're overpriced, it might be difficult to sell electronics. Even though they're abundant, they're just not in your price range. But maybe they have women's clothing that has a pretty good supply, but they're priced really cheap and priced to move. Well, guess what? You might want to consider women's clothing. If you have 25 local stores in your area, or 10, or even 3, and there's a good supply of women's clothing, and they're selling it at a really good price, $1, $4, whatever that price might be good for that particular niche, then guess what? You have a great opportunity in women's clothing. That being said, if the electronics has a really good price, but there's not very many electronics to choose from, you could probably dabble in that and maybe even kind of do that on the side, but that's really not going to be a main niche for you because it's going to be difficult for you to really stock up on these inventory items because they're just not abundant enough for you to resell. So we're finally on step 3. Step number 3 is we are going to go on eBay and we are going to search for whatever niche that we decided to go on. We're going to say women's clothing, and we're going to go on eBay and we're going to search for women's jeans, for instance. And we're going to sort by the area that we live in within that 25 or 50 mile radius. And what we're looking for is what is abundant in your area. And we're going to also sort this by price. Whatever price point you want to sell at, obviously the higher the better. We're going to sort by, say, $50 to $100. So we're going to set a price filter for $50 to $100 within a 50 mile radius of our actual house. And what that's going to do is that's going to show you what other sellers are selling that is really abundant in your area. So you know that your thrift stores have that because other resellers in your area are actually selling those exact products or items, and you know that they're profitable because you sorted them by price. So you might not find a ton of items in the $50 to $100 price range. Maybe you got to go to the $20 to $50 price range. Whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever price point that you want to sell by, that's what you can filter by. And what this is going to do is you can write down, have a little list, and you're going to write down women's jeans. You're going to sort by a 50-mile radius within your house, and a price point from $50 to $100, and you're going to start writing down all the different brands or items that fit that criteria. And guess what? You now have your very own BOLO list. BOLO list means be on the lookout. You have one of the most valuable items that every single reseller spends hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on per year trying to figure this stuff out, either by doing their own research or buying somebody else's BOLO lists. So congratulations, you have one of the most prized things that you could possibly have in reselling. If you found this video helpful, please make sure that you like this video. So that's it, guys. All you have to do is go on Google, make a list within a 50-mile radius of all the thrift stores. Go check out your thrift stores, see what the prices are, see what they're selling. Once you figure out what you have in abundance, go on eBay, search by the 50-mile radius and search by your price, and bada bing, you've got your own BOLO list. I really hope that you guys liked this video, and thank you for watching.